Hi class, welcome to this video on transformations, specifically how to actually get points or what points are given for when you have to describe transformations. So transformations are basically 4 different types of movement or changing of a shape that can change its size or the way it looks in some manner. So these are the 4 different types that you can have. Okay, I'm going to interrupt myself here and just quickly explain what actually enlargement, rotation, translation and reflection look like, because I'm sure some of you don't quite know that yet. So enlargement genuinely sounds like what it is. You'll have a shape and it'll be the same proportion, but the shape will change. Sometimes it will get larger and sometimes it might get smaller. Okay, and that's what enlargement means. So rotation, the shape will be turned around some kind of point. So it won't just turn exactly on itself like this sort of thing, round in a circle this way. It could also turn from here and turn around in a larger circumference to over here or something like that. Translation. So this one, think about translation as sort of moving a meaning from one place to another. So in translation, you have a shape and it moves somewhere, but it does not turn or anything, so it stays the same way up and nothing else about it changes. It's just moved to a different place. And reflection, so the size won't change at all. Nothing about it will change, except it will be flipped, because it will be like looking at the reflection in a mirror somehow. And these are the points allocated for each one. So nearly all of them, if you describe it, you get 3 points, except for reflection. We'll get to that in a minute. So enlargement. Number 1, you get a point for saying that they've used enlargement. You get a point for saying what the scale factor is, and you get a point for talking about the centre of enlargement. So the scale factor will be whatever you times by to change one of the shape's dimensions into the other one. Okay, and then centre of enlargement, we'll have a look in a minute, but it's the point at which you are enlarging from. Okay, so rotation, you get a point for saying rotation. You get a point for naming the centre of rotation, so very much like the centre of enlargement, this will be a point around which you have rotated your shape. Okay, and then you get a point for saying how many degrees you have rotated your shape by. And in addition to this point, sometimes you need to also name if it's clockwise and anti-clockwise. But you normally only get 3 points for this, so you will need to think about doing this as well. Right, translation. So this one's a little bit unusual. You get 1 point again for naming that it's translation, and the other 2 points are for doing a vector coordinate. And I'll show you this in a minute, okay? But basically you get a point for whatever this is here, you get a point, and for whatever this is here, you get a point. So there'll be 2 numbers in here, stacked one on top of the other one. This one will be X and this one will be Y. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so reflection, this is the unusual one. You only get 2 points. You get 1 for saying it is a reflection, and you get 1 point for saying where it has been reflected. Okay, so for example, if you have one triangle here and one triangle here, as you can imagine, the line of reflection is not here. It's probably more likely to be around here. So by saying where the line of reflection is, that will get you 1 of those points. Okay, so let's look at some questions and see how this works. So here it says, they all say this, describe fully the single transformation that shapes shape P onto shape Q. Now this is 3 marks, so immediately you should be thinking it's probably not reflection. It's probably one of these 3, because you get 3 marks for each of these. And if you have a look, the size has changed. As soon as the size has changed, I know it's enlargement. So I can hit my first mark already by writing enlargement in here. And then let's have a look at the scale factor. So you choose one of the lengths on here. So I'll choose this one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 5. And I'll choose the set. So you look at the same side here, which is 2. And then we're going from P to Q. So you need to figure out what would you times by to get from 2 to 5. And in this case, so the scale factor what you would times by is 2.5. Scale factor 2.5. And the very last thing is the centre of enlargement. And what you do for this is you draw a line that is touching 2 points that are the same. So I pick these points here, here and here. And then if you find 2 other points, I normally just use the outside of the shape because they'll be the same. Then, let's try that again. So where they meet, that will be the centre of enlargement. So you can see here the centre of enlargement, and it will be a coordinate. Okay, so the coordinates of that are 0, 0, because you can see it's right at 0, 0 on the graph. Okay, let's look at this one together. So this says the shape, so describe fully the single transformation that maps shape P onto shape Q. So shape P onto shape Q, we're going to go this way. And I can see that this is a rotation, so that gets you 1 mark already to just write rotation. And then your second mark will be for saying how many degrees, and in this case you need to say clockwise or anti-clockwise. So if we have a look, this is going anti-clockwise. And then the last thing is to find the centre of rotation. So in the exam you'll have tracing paper for this, and you can basically put a little point, spin your shape around and see where it's going to go. And how you check a centre of rotation. So I know it's here because if I look at these points here, I can see that they're both equal distance to this point, and I can see that if I rotated this exactly 90, that would have worked out. Okay, so in this case the centre of rotation is just here, and it's 1, 1. Alright, let's go for the next one. Okay, so again, describe fully the single transformation that maps P onto Q. So this shape has not twisted, and it's not flipped either, has it? This is a translation. So in a translation, the shape has just moved, as if you were sort of moving a piece of card but keeping it completely upright. And then what you do is, all you need is to draw the vector. So saying translation will be 1 mark already. And then within your vector, how much it's moved left or right, that will be your x coordinate, and y will be how much it's moved up and down. So as usual, the first one that you write will be along the corridor, then up the stairs. So with the x here, so let's have a look. So again, you choose a point, you choose the same point on the other one, and look how far it's gone. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's gone 6 this way, and then it's moved 1 downward. So you must make it negative if it goes negative on the y-axis. And that's all your points. You get 1 point for the 6 and 1 point for the -1 in the correct place. Okay, so this says describe fully the transformation that maps white onto red. This is 2 points this is worth, and that should tell you immediately that this is reflection. Okay, and then so reflection, you get 1 point for literally saying reflection. Okay, and then the other point that you get is for saying what the line of reflection is. And again, if you choose 2 points that are the same on your shape, you then draw a line across right in the middle. And if you like, you can compare another 2 points here, and that will show you as well. So this is the line here. And what is this line? we'll have a look all the way along this line, which coordinate stays the same. And the one that stays the same is that x is 1, and that's true along this whole line. So this reflection in the line x equals 1.